Hello everyone, and welcome to a tour of my Notion workspace. I must admit, in the past, I spent way more time than necessary trying to figure out the best productivity system instead of actually being productive. And more often than not, our pursuit of productivity is one of the reasons why we struggle to get things done. We try to find the best app, the best set of habits, the best strategy, or the best workflow, and that's the thing. When our foundation of tools are properly established or laid out, everything else in our productivity system tends to fall into place. But when we struggle to find the right tools, our productivity system falls short of our needs and expectations. One of the tools that has helped me build a system that works just right for the way my brain works is Notion. Now, this should come as no surprise to you, especially because Notion has probably dominated the spheres of productivity and organization by now. So without further ado, I have my laptop here, I have my coffee here, and let's get this Notion tour started. So this is my life dashboard. As you can see, at first glance, it's not colorful, it's not vibrant, and that's because every page, every information, and everything about my workspace revolves around functionality. The thing is, I'm a very indecisive person. So if I change my workspace into something colorful, I know that I'd be sick of the colors by the next day, change everything, and I'd be back to square one. And again, my purpose for using Notion is to create a workspace for my productivity system with little to no distraction so I can work more efficiently. So creating a vibrant workspace that I would have to change often as an indecisive person would just defeat the purpose of using Notion as a productivity tool. Of course, if you prefer having a more colorful workspace, you can definitely do so. You can even add a cover or change the icon to something that vibes with your personality. But for now, this is what works for me. By the way, if you find my workspace to be something that suits your productivity system, I will have the template linked below so you can access and customize it however you want. At the top of my dashboard, I have this navigation panel where I can access all the pages in my workspace. Now, when I open up my dashboard, I want to see only the areas of my life that matter to me at any given time. A lot of people find Notion quite overwhelming and intimidating because frankly, it seems like you have to learn a lot to get your workspace working smoothly. But I guess my first tip for you is to know what areas of your life you want to organize with Notion and know how these areas work together. For me, my personal life, university, and work are the three core areas that I want to organize in one workspace. Keeping that in mind, I have my vault, routines, pods, university, and work sections in my navigation panel. Vault houses any important note or area of my life. Routines are for what its name suggests, my routines. Pods are for any interests in life that I want to keep an archive or repository of. University is of course for my academic life, and work is for content creation and anything that concerns my channel. All these sections are also toggle lists, so if I want to see only the section headers and not the pages under them for less clutter, I can just hide them using the toggle. And I create that by just adding a / and typing in toggle list. So I'm gonna go through them one by one, starting with my vault, which has my 2023 goals, trigger list, projects, and financial tracker. On my 2023 goals page, I have this navigation panel at the top with 3 pages: life areas, bucket list, and quarterly review. Life areas basically serve as an overview of my goals in the different areas of my life for the year. To put it simply, these are my annual commit goals, my non-negotiables, whereas my bucket list comprises my stretch goals for the year. So these are more of the ambitious goals that I'm not requiring myself to achieve this year, but that will be a bonus if I do achieve them. Since my goals are set within a 12-week period, I also have a quarterly review page which has all the prompts to reflect and review how the previous quarter went, what accomplishments I made, and what challenges I encountered. Below this navigation panel, I have my theme for the year, which is growth, just as a reminder for any decisions and actions I have to make this year. Below that, I have databases for my quarterly goals and the actions I have to take to achieve them. Notion has, by far, one of the most versatile databases out there. For example, In my quarterly goals database, I can categorize each goal to the life area they belong to, indicate the status, track my progress, and what's great in these databases is you can create relations. So if you have databases that work together, say for example my goals and actions databases, I can use relations to link a page from my actions database to my goals database and vice versa. So to achieve my goal of listening to 3 podcasts per quarter, I can add a relation property that links to the specific action I am taking to achieve that goal, which is to listen to the How to Be a Better Human podcast on the first week of the quarter. In this way, I can easily see what specific actions I'm taking each week to achieve my goals for the quarter. Now, how do I make sure that I'm not overwhelming myself with my goals for the entire year? Well, this is where I implement filters to only show the goals and actions I have for the current quarter. So what I did is I created separate views on the same database for each quarter. So I have a different view for quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then for each view, I added a filter that only shows my goals and actions for that specific quarter. Now I can focus my attention to only the goals and actions that matter to me in the present. The next page on my vault is my trigger list, which is based on the Getting Things Done system by David Allen, and this is basically a tool to trigger tasks, events, or activities that you might have missed in the different areas of your life. Next is my projects page, which unfortunately I can't show you at the moment because it is still work in progress, but essentially this page serves as an archive for all learning projects that I plan to study outside of my academic curriculum. Next is my financial tracker, which is a pretty straightforward one, but again, I have a navigation panel at the top, an annual summary of my income versus expenses, and also a detailed list of all income and expenses for each month. The next section, still in my life dashboard and on my navigation panel, is my list of routines. Now, as much as I thrive by schedules and routines, I don't necessarily wake up in the morning and look at these lists throughout the day minute by minute. Most of these routines are already ingrained in my system, but I still keep these lists on my dashboard as an archive for when I might have missed an important task under these routines. Pods are my spheres of interests, including cooking, although I must say I'm not very good at doing so, entertainment media, books, and travel plans. Now, under my kitchen page, I just have, again, a navigation panel. You will see a similar pattern in my other pods having a navigation panel at the top because these have quick links to all relevant pages. Below that, I just have a grocery list at the left and a few recipes that I might want to cook or prepare. Next is my pod for entertainment, where I have separate databases for movies and series. Both of these are organized into a gallery view with filters to only show the movies and series that I plan to watch, I'm currently watching, or that I have watched. These headers are called properties and notions. So the properties I have for both of these entertainment databases include the title, genre, my rating, status, and a summary of the movie or series. I'm not a film critic, I just have to put it out there. I just watch these movies purely for my entertainment. So you can see these properties are the simplest and most basic pieces of information you can get about the movie or series because these databases only serve as an archive for the entertainment media I'm consuming. Next is my bookshelf, which is just a collection of the books that I plan to read, I'm currently reading, and books that I've read in the past. I am planning to integrate my Readwise account here, but I just haven't gotten around doing so. Maybe in the future, but for now, this is just a table view of my book collection with their respective authors, genres, ratings, and summaries. The last pod I have is my Explore page, which is basically a gallery of the places that I intend to visit in the future. By the way, before I forget to mention, you can create ideas for each databases more efficiently by setting up templates. So for example, in my Explore databases, I have set up a template such that when you create a new page using the template, all relevant information on traveling is already set up, so you can just fill it out at your convenience. So in this template, you already have a packing checklist, a list of things to do, an itinerary section, and a bunch of other details relevant to your travels. You don't have to manually type in all of these pieces of information every time you add a new page. You just click the template and you can plan out your travels with ease. Now, let's move on to the university section. As you can see, these pages have arrows on them, unlike the others I previously mentioned, and that is because these are separate dashboards. These are still pages like the previous ones, but they are a separate dashboard from my life dashboard, if that makes any sense. So how I set this up is I create a page on my sidebar for my university dashboard, and then I go back to my life dashboard, hit the / and type in link to page. What this does is it links my university dashboard to my life dashboard for convenient access. I did this for each academic year, and to show you how that is set up, I will just use my current university dashboard for reference. So in my university dashboard, I have 2 columns, one for my course guide and one for my courses database. This section for my course guide, as well as other headers you see on my Notion workspace, like this one, these ones, and this one, are called callouts. I love using them as section headers or simply to put emphasis on certain blocks of my workspace. Now, before I show you how I set up my course guide, I will first show you how I set up my courses database. So this is a gallery view of all the academic courses of my degree, separated into views according to the year and semester they belong to. So I have courses for my first year, first semester, second year, second semester, and so on and so forth. Again, these are organized by setting up filters. In each course page, I have a property for the course title, course description component, whether it's a lecture or laboratory class, and the year and semester I took the course in. These are the basic information I need about the course at first glance. Within each course page, I have a section for additional course information like the schedule, credit, prerequisite courses, and portal, a section for the professor's information just in case I need to email them, a section for the course syllabus, portal, and other information such as the Zoom details. Below all of that, I have outlined the content for each course tabulated into the respective modules with the links to the respective learning materials as well as other resources that might be helpful for the module. Below the course content, I have a section for our course's grading scheme, grading system, and additional resources. Similar to my other databases, I have also set up a template for my courses database, so it's easier to input all relevant information rather than having to type everything manually every time I create a page. Now, to set up my course guide, I first list out all the courses under their respective semesters. I then highlight each course, add a link, and then I search for the course page. So when I click on any of these links, I will be redirected to their corresponding course page under this database. Below all of this, I have yet another 3-column section which comprises my inbox, master calendar, and upcoming and pending tasks. Now, my inbox houses any note, task, or information that I have yet to process in my working brain. Now, what is the purpose of this inbox when I could have immediately sorted them into their respective places in my workspace, you might ask? The thing is, there are pieces of information that you can't process right there and then when you receive it. Say you're walking home and you think of an idea for a project. This is where an inbox comes into play. Instead of forgetting an important note or task when they're buried among the many other important tasks that you have to remember, the inbox helps you jot down these pieces of information so you can process them at a later time when you're able to do so. In this area of my workspace, I also have my master calendar, which has all the important tasks and deadlines for my university. Again, these are sorted according to the year and semester they belong to for easy access. Other properties I have for my master calendar are the course, the type of task, the deadline, and the status of my progress for this specific task. On the right side, I have a section for my upcoming tasks and a section for my pending tasks. For my upcoming tasks, I have set up a filter to only show assignments, tasks, and deadlines I have for this week. Meanwhile, my pending tasks are also filtered to only show tasks and deadlines that are marked with their statuses as not started or in progress. In this way, when my master calendar is cluttered by the number of tasks I can look at my upcoming or pending tasks to see only those that I have yet to accomplish. So what I did to set this up is I again hit the / and then I typed in linked view of database. And what this does is it basically links the database of my master calendar to this particular section of my workspace, but just in a different view, which is again set up to show only the tasks for this week and those that are still pending. So any changes I make in my master calendar are also reflected in these two linked views of my database. Moving on to my work dashboard. Unfortunately, I can't dive deep into the pages under this dashboard for privacy reasons, but similar to the other pages in my workspace, I have a navigation panel with links to the pages for my content ideas, a content overview for the year, my pre-filming checklist, projects for the year, and a sponsors list. Below that, I just have my content calendar where I have removed the pages again for privacy reasons, but essentially this calendar is similar to my university master calendar, just this time it is any relevant deadlines, tasks, events, or projects related to my channel. Now that I've shown you the bulk of my life dashboard, let's move on to the rest of it, which basically consists of linked views of my databases. Again, when I open up Notion, the default page is my life dashboard, so it only makes sense that I have all important databases from all the pages I previously mentioned, so I don't have to go through each and every page in case I'm moving in between tasks. So below my navigation panel, I have 3 columns, one for my quarterly agenda, one for my weekly agenda, and one for my inbox. This quarterly agenda is a linked view of my actions database, if you can recall in my 2023 goals page. I linked that database here because I wanted to see how my actions for the month to achieve my goals coincide with my academic schedule. This weekly schedule is a new database that is organized into a board view so I can see my schedule for the entire week. The thing is, aside from being an indecisive person, I'm not a very spontaneous person, so if I don't have a weekly schedule planned out at the start of the week, I just know that my mind will be all over the place. So I made this weekly schedule board so I can see my tasks for the entire week and move tasks around easily. I also grouped my tasks per week so that I can hide previous ones when I'm done with them, but also be able to view them when I'm reviewing how the previous week went. The third column has my inbox. Now, this isn't a linked view of a database, but this is rather a synced block, and what that means is you can sync content across pages so you don't have to manually edit each page one at a time. And this inbox is actually synced to the inbox you previously saw in my academic dashboard, if I'm not mistaken, so that when I have an important task that I need to take note of for university, I can add that task to this inbox in my life dashboard and it will still reflect in my academic dashboard. Basically, this inbox being a synced block just serves as a reminder for any pending note that I have to process in my working brain. Now, below these 3 columns, I have linked views of my university master calendar and my work content calendar. I have linked these databases here so that when I'm scheduling my week, I don't have to go to my university dashboard, then back to my life dashboard, and then back to my work dashboard again, and then back to my life dashboard again. I can just scroll through one page and see how the deadlines, tasks, and events can work together. So that is the entire tour of my Notion workspace. I hope you will be able to use some of these features in your own workspace. Let me know if you want a Notion tutorial in the future, but other than that, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!